Hello everyone, this is Eli DeLuca with Eli the Science Guy, second video. This is completely improv, don't judge me. Yeah. And Nathan, can you tone down Family Guy? Okay. Today I'm going to be talking about Project Orion. Nope, not the new one, the new capsule thing. The old one. For those of you who do know what I'm talking about, then okay. Those of you who don't, then watch this. Project Orion Nuclear Propulsion. This is an artist's conception of the NASA reference design for the Project Orion spacecraft powered by nuclear propulsion. So, some rockets work by, what is it? Yeah. Traditional chemical rockets. So what chemical rockets are is, okay, so you've all heard of hydrogen and oxygen and kerosene, and a highly enriched version of it, an IP1 I believe it's called. And there are tons of other fuels that can be used. For liquid rocket fuel, there's also hybrid and solid. Yeah, but I could go on and on about how many kinds. Well, there's three really main kinds, but yeah. So liquid rocket engines. Well, let's use the fuel used on the space shuttle: liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen. So they mix them in a combustion chamber and they ignite them and they explode. Now that's pretty basic engines. Then there are the ion engines. So ion engines, I'm going to consider a terrible idea here. This is just a bad idea, bound to fail. Ion engines are, well, they're highly efficient, unlike chemical rockets, which produce a lot of thrust, but their specific impulse is terrible. And for those who don't know what specific impulse is, then first off, you probably shouldn't be watching this video, because why would you care at all? Yeah, you disappoint me. They produce a small amount of thrust very efficiently. So then I'm also going to talk about Casimir, Nova. It's similar to ion engines, except it's different. It's a thermal rocket. I don't have time to cover everything here. There are also multiple kinds of thermal rockets, and, well, I don't have all the time in the world, unlike some people. But anyway, simply produce hydrogen or whatever. Okay, and then there's Casimir, which uses hydrogen, mostly almost guaranteed to be hydrogen, as a propellant. I mean, I would use hydrogen. And uses, I believe it's microwaves and electromagnets to heat it up and compress it, and then it shoots it out. But that's highly, and it's highly efficient and produces more thrust than the ion engine. But it requires 200 megawatts, which is crazy. Okay, anyway, basic schematic. Well, yeah, extremely basic schematic. Essentially, intermediate platform, upper model section, body. Second stage, stock ABS. No, ABS. Yeah, ABS reminds me of the plastic used in 3D printing. Stage shock, ABS. I probably should know what ABS stands for, as I'm pretty sure it's not in 3D printing, but on a spaceship that uses nuclear bombs to propel itself. Pusher plate made of titanium, steel, some crazy and strong alloy. Propulsion module and propellant magazines and payload section. Yeah. Oh, okay, that's actually, you can read this. If you want to pause it, you can read this. It's kind of interesting. Image of the song. Okay. Sizes in Orion vehicles. Okay. Okay, so today I will explain. Well, no. sorry, the video. Okay. This is essentially the basic Orions. Okay, Saturn V is not Orion though. That was actually built and is pretty awesome. It's the same rocket took man to the moon. Well deserved title. Ship mass orbital test 880 tons. Interplanetary 400 tons. Advanced interplanetary completely beast 10,000 tons. Saturn V 3,350 tons. That's the ship's mass, so 10,000 tons. God. 880 tons is kind of lightweight considering the Saturn V weighed 3,350 tons. Ship diameter 25 that's meters. 40 meters. Interplanetary, advanced interplanetary 85 meters. Saturn V 100. No, that's the. Oh yeah, I was on diameter. Oh yeah, diameter. Sorry, go back. 25 meters for orbital test. Interplanetary 40 meters. Advanced interplanetary 56 meters. Saturn V 10 meters. Measly. Ship height 36 meters, which is small for a rocket, I'm gonna say. I think that's about this. Okay, I'm just gonna look up how high the height of the space shuttle. Height of the space shuttle. Okay, 56.1 meters. Not even as tall as the space shuttle. That's pretty small. Interplanetary, barely taller than the space shuttle. I mean, I don't know if that was orbital or they included. Oh yeah, that was probably only orbital. Advanced interplanetary, 85 meters tall. Saturn V, 110 meters. Surprisingly, it's the tallest and weighs, well, not the least, second least. But I mean, I'm surprised considering the fact that the Orions were supposed to be. Actually, I don't know how many stages. I think they only had a few stages. Not as much as Saturn V. Well, Saturn V had 3. Maybe. Did it even ever separate? Maybe 2 stages? Yeah, actually pretty. Bomb yield, sea level. 0.03 kilotons orbital test. So that's relatively weak. Hiroshima was about 16 to 24 megatons is crazy. Kilotons. Interplanetary 0.14 kilotons. Advanced interplanetary 0.35 kilotons. Saturn V, well, it didn't use bombs. Bombs at 300 miles low Earth orbit. Orbital test 800. Interplanetary 800. 800 across board. Saturn V again did not need those. Payload to 300 miles to low Earth orbit. 300 tons, which is crazy considering how tall it was. 36 meters. Measly 36 meters. Okay. Interplanetary 1,600 tons. Really? That's crazy. Advanced interplanetary 6,100 tons. Crazy. Payload to moon soft landing. 170 tons. Oh, the Saturn V was 130 tons for payload to low orbit. Now, that's a lot for today. 300 tons for this, the orbital test, which is not even that tall. Of course, the advanced interplanetary just crap. No. Payload, the moon soft land. Orbital test, 170 tons. It can launch more tons to the moon in a soft landing than Saturn V can do it to live with. Interplanetary, 1,200 tons. Holy crap. Advanced interplanetary, 5,700 tons. Saturn V, 2 tons, but it walked and somehow got us back from the moon. 2 measly tons. Payload to Mars orbit return. So this is not landing on Mars. That would be slightly more. 80 tons to land on Mars. Interplanetary, 800 tons. Advanced interplanetary, 5,300. Why would you need 5,300 tons? Okay, no matter how much it's lowered, let's even assume it's cut in half. So that would be 40 tons. 400 tons is still plenty. Why would you need more than 400 tons, is my question. Well, and of course it's not going to be cut in half. That's relatively close, probably. So, of course, that is weird. And payload, 3 Saturn return. I think that's a whole mission. No. 1,300 tons. That's what? Of course, it's Saturn V. No, but I think with the Saturn V with heavy modifications and later weight things they need to lift, capsules and stuff, could have probably had a Mars orbit return of maybe a quarter of a ton. A quarter of a ton. 500 pounds. Okay. In late 1958 to early... Oh, this was a study, keep in mind. It says right up here, was a study. Yeah. Okay, in late 1958 to early 1959, it was realized that the smallest practical vehicle would be determined by the smallest achievable bomb yield. So, sorry. The use of 0.03 kiloton sea level yield bombs would give vehicle mass of 880 tons. However, this was regarded as too small for anything other than an orbital test vehicle, and soon focused on a 4,000 ton base design. At the time, the details of small bomb designs were shrouded in secrecy. Many Orion design reports all had details of bombs being removed before release. Contrast the above details with the 1959 report by General Atomics, which explored the parameters of the 3 different sizes of hypothetical Orion spacecraft. Ship diameter. What? Satellite line, mid-range line, super line? Okay, there were 2, I guess. That seems a little redundant. Okay, thank you. You can say longer. Yay! Ship diameter 700 to 20 meters. Satellite line. Now that's pretty small. It's built in Saturn V, and Saturn V is built. Mid-range line 40 meters. Super line 400 meters diameter. Got it. Okay. Ship mass 300 tons, 1,200 tons. No, that's some serious crap. 8 million tons. God. Number of bombs 530. Both 1,080. Individual bomb mass 22 tons. No, 0.22 tons. 0.37 to 0.75 tons. 3,000 tons. The crap? Okay, you can read this because this is crazy. Oh. Called for the pusher plate or called for the pusher plate to compose primarily of uranium transuranic element so that upon reaching a nearby star system the plate could be converted to nuclear fuel. Okay. This thing was fast. I mean, I don't feel like we're doing like that maths, but mass. But it could get us to a star like in a ton of few. Oh, yeah. Sci-fi miniseries. Okay. And show there was some possibility. Operation Plum Bob. A test similar to a test of a pusher plate occurred as a side effect test of a nuclear containment test called Pascal B. Conducted on August 22nd, 1957. The test experimental designer performed a highly approximate calculation that suggested that the low-yield nuclear explosion will accelerate the massive 900 kilogram steel capable plate to 6 times escape velocity. The plate was never found, but Dr. Brownlee believed the plate never left the atmosphere. For example, it could have been vaporized by compression heating of the atmosphere due to its high speed. The calculated velocity was sufficiently interested that the crew trained a high-speed camera on the plate, which unfortunately only appeared in one frame, but this nevertheless gave a very high lower bound for the speed. Okay, this one, potential problems. Danger to human's life was not a reason given for shelving the project. Wait, you're gonna keep a project going even if there's dangers humans will die. Those included lack of mission requirement. No one in the U.S. government could think of any reason to put thousands of tons of payload into orbit. It's true. Why? In a time when what was this? This was 1950 something. Well, for 1959 was a big part of the study, I feel like. So let's say 1959. Okay. A human had not even been in orbit yet. Sorry if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure that the first man in orbit was Yuri Gagarin or something or whatever. Sorry about the name, I misspelled that. And that was like 1961. Okay, so essentially, we hadn't even put a man in orbit, and no one could think of, and of course I believe that it made sense to not develop the rocket that would cost just far out of the budget range, and like it'll be almost as high as the military budget. And for those of you who know anything about the government, the military budget is so over the top that it's just crazy. It's just Nathan, okay, so decision to focus on rockets for the moon mission and ultimately the signing the partial test ban treaty in 1963. The danger to electronic systems on ground from electromagnetic pulse was not considered to be significant from the sub-kiloton blast boats and solid-state integrated circuits were not in general use this time. Okay, so, and I will talk about something, the name's escaping me, this is improv, don't judge me. Don't judge me. So essentially, okay, I'm fading. When the U.S. launched their first nuclear bomb into space and exploded, the EMP knocked out 1/3 of the satellites. 1/3, and this was 62, I believe, 1962 or something. It was in the 60s, I know that. 1/3 of the satellites got knocked out, and if they did multiple of these in space, of course they won't be as powerful. And if this was done today, the amount of satellites in orbit, well, 1/3 would knock out, would just be devastating to the world. Internets would go blank. News would fail to get around completely. It would be a total failure. Which at the time, well, the amount of satellites in orbit was Sputnik had fallen down by now. Well, like a few. Yeah, not that many. Okay, so, yeah, that stinks. Yeah, so that kind of made it, annoying. Oh, yeah, it would take at least 44 years to reach Alpha Centauri, the newest star to Earth. God, and by the time they got halfway there, 22 years later, we'd have another cracker zooming by them, and it only would take half the time. So, yeah. Later developments. A concept similar to mine was defined by the British. Oh yeah, and another thing to say. Okay, so you know how the U.S. developed supposed suitcase nuclear weapons? Well, this was kind of partly used to make them. Well, of course we didn't officially make them, but let's face it, they probably did. Okay, so, those antimatter rockets, well, that's kind of difficult when we can barely get to the moon, and antimatter is particle. Like, maybe we can create positrons? No. Well, the, positive electrons, positrons, essentially. Project Daedalus was to be a little project in a little probe to Barnard star that would travel at 12% of the speed of light. In 1989, a similar concept was studied by the U.S. Navy and NASA in Project Longshot. Both these concepts require significant advances of fusion technology, and therefore cannot be built at present. Okay, yeah, you can read that if you want to. My closing statement, I don't need a closing statement, but anyway, if you look something up on University of Washington Fusion Drive, there's this thing about, there's this thing about a nuclear fusion technology that would shoot, hydrogen, deuterium, I believe it was going to be, maybe deuterium and, yeah, deuterium, I'm pretty sure, maybe tritium? No, deuterium. Same thing in heavy water, I believe. And then it would have lithium bands be compressed by electromagnets, fusing the deuterium, deforming, nuclear fusion, and to propel the rocket forward. And of course, this is much more feasible than Project Orion at the time, and have a nice day. Have a nice day!